Hello fellows, welcome to my channel. This channel is entirely dedicated and created for educational purposes only. Here you can find high quality educational materials to learn the basics, whether you are a beginner, more advanced or an intermediate trader. For people that want to see more action, you can check the link on the top right corner. Here we are proving our methods with real accounts. We trade for several years and we show that it can be done profitably. You can subscribe as all profits go to our subs. You can find all the details about our accounts. However, since you are new in trading, using real money is almost forbidden. Practice will make you better, and do not expect fancy cars and fake promises. Trading is real challenging and the numbers are against you. You won't need any money to start and everything is totally free. For most of our videos, you will find a link in the description that will lead you into a more advanced version of the video, but as beginners, I do not recommend. Stay with the basics and demo trading. So let's begin your journey. As a new trader, you need to clarify some basic concepts. We start talking about pips and other fancy words, but the most appealing and exciting element that trading offers you is the ability to trade on margin. For many traders, the meaning of margin is often misunderstood. Our fellow trader, whom we are mentioning in most of our episodes, feel confident to win the market. As a new trader, leverage and margin are some of the most important and new concepts you need to master. A miscalculation will have a huge impact on your account. Margin trading gives you the ability to enter into positions larger than your account balance. So with a little bit of cash, you can open much bigger trades in the Forex market. This can be a useful tool or it can destroy your account. With a very small change in prices in your favor, you will have a huge profit. But this is a double-edged sword. You might have huge losses. For most of the new traders, because they usually don't know what they are doing, that's what usually happens. Most of the time, the prices will move against you. This is the feeling you will have when start trading. You will think that there is an invisible hand moving the market against you, waiting for you to execute the trade and turn the market in the opposite direction. A miscalculation and now our fellow trader blew up the entire account. He has no funds to proceed to another trade. He watches the market, he spots another trade. However, he realizes that he is not able to execute. His account is completely dry. In trading, you must live to fight another day. It's very important to know how margin works. But let's make a list of margin lingo that we will use. So in this video, we will explain what is margin, what is used margin, what is free margin, what is margin level, what is margin call, and what is stop out or margin close out. We will use our demo account in this series to explain. These are your metrics. For most of our examples, we will use MT4 or MT5. However, the idea is the same for all platforms. A change in one causes a change in another. Think it like a variables. As a trader, you need to be aware of the relationship between them. For your first trades, you will need to practice with demo accounts. This will help you to master the idea before diving into some real action. So here I'm using an account as an example to explain the definition. Balance, used margin, free margin, unrealized profit or loss, equity, margin level, and so on. Balance measures how much cash you have in your account. If you don't have a certain amount of cash, you may not have enough margin to open a new trade or keep existing trades open. The used margin is not displayed, but it's there. For the MT4 platform, it just displays as margin. Let's now discuss each metric one by one in detail. So what is the account balance? Well, it's easy and simple. Every time you are opening an account to trade, you need to deposit money. This is your starting account balance. As you trade, the value either will increase or will decrease depending on how skillful trader you are, and that's why we are here. For this series, we are trading only demo accounts, so for now you don't have to worry. Remember what we said about trading and how risky it is. In case you want to start trading with real money, deposit only money you can afford to lose. The account balance, or simply balance, is your account given the fact you have no trades open, so it is just the amount of cash in your account. Balance equal cash. If you deposit 100 USD, your balance will be 100 USD. When you open a new position, then the balance will change. The account balance will change in case you add more funds when you close a position or if you keep a trade overnight that you need to pay a swap fee. Keeping trades for more than a day will affect your account balance. This depends on the rates between the currencies you are trading. Either it will be adverse or favorable. Just know that there is a difference between a trade that lasts a couple of hours and a trade you keep overnight. The procedure of moving open position from one trading day to another is called rollover. Most brokers do that by closing any position by end of the day while opening an identical position for the following day. During this rollover, a swap is calculated. Even though we will discuss in-depth swaps and a very unique trading technique that is called carry trading, for this session, we won't go any further. Now that we know what balance means, let's move to the next concepts of realized profit and loss and unrealized profit and loss and how they affect your balance. There are two types of profits and loss. The first is the unrealized profit and loss, or floating. This amount will fluctuate as long as you have open positions trades. In my example, I have executed a trade, and as you can see, the balance remains unchanged. However, the unrealized profit and loss are constantly changing. This unrealized profit refers to the profit or loss held in your current open positions, your currently active trades. Now, if you close your trades, then this unrealized profit will be added or subtracted from your balance. So the moment we close our trades, the unrealized balance is being added to your balance. Now the unrealized profit or loss became realized profit and loss and permanently affected your account balance. The unrealized profit and loss is also known as floating profit or loss because, as we said, the value is constantly changing since the positions are still open. Based on what we said, the account balance that will remain unchanged is the realized profit and loss. When you close a trade, you might have a profit, so your account balance will be increased, or a loss. In this case, the account balance will be decreased. Of course, a break-even is also an option. Practically, you had no gains or losses, but we will discuss that later in our episodes. So, unrealized profits are theoretical profits. In the future, we will see examples of how we can use our theoretical or unrealized profits to multiply our final profits by using them. We will increase our trade size while using those unrealized profits. Don't get excited and stay focused for the moment. When trading Forex, you need an amount of money to open a position. This is the margin. In trading, we are multiplying our position. So let's say we want to buy 100,000 USD. We need to deposit, let's say 5,000. This is an insurance that you can hold the trade and that we don't go to negative. This amount depends on the broker, and keep in mind that it's not a transaction cost, it's not a fee. It's a small percentage that it's been held to help you proceed with a trade. In the example we gave before, let's say you have an account balance of 10,000. Then in order to buy 100,000, you will need 5,000 USD. The moment you execute the trade, this amount is no longer available. You have used the margin of 5,000 USD. Margin is expressed as a percentage of the full position size, also known as the notional value of the position you wish to open. Depending on the currency and the broker, this percentage varies. In our example, we have used 5%. This percentage is known as the margin requirement. But what is the required margin? When margin is expressed as a specific amount of your account's currency, this amount is known as required margin. In our example, it was 5,000 for a 100,000 position. Required margin is also known as deposit margin, entity margin, or initial margin. How to calculate the required margin? When trading with margin, the amount of margin, required margin, needed to hold open a position is calculated as a percentage margin requirement of the position size, notional value. The specific amount of required margin is calculated according to the base currency of the currency pair traded. If the base currency is different from your trading account's currency, the required margin is then converted to your account denomination. I know, keep calm. It's much easier than it sounds. When you practice, you will be able to understand the concept and the idea. However, it's very important because in trading you need to risk standard amounts per trade. The significance will be explained later in our series. Now, let's continue. We need also to determine and understand the used margin. In order to understand what is the used margin, we must first understand what required margin is. Whenever you open a new position, a specific amount of required margin is set aside. Remember the example. To open a 100,000 USD, we needed 5,000. Now for each position you open, you will need a specific proportion of your account, the required margin. If you add up all the required margin of all the positions that are open, the total amount is what's called the used margin. Every time you execute a trade, you lock a specific amount of your account balance. The total amount of your position is the used margin. Money that is set aside and locked up when you open a position. Now let's explain what does equity mean. The account equity or equity is the current value of the trading account. Equity is the current value of the account and fluctuates with every tick when looking at your trading platform on your screen. It's the total amount of floating in your account balance. So, as your current trades rise or fall in value, so does your equity. If you don't have any trades open, equity equals balance. If you do have open trades, then as we can see in this example of the trade that I have opened, equity equals account balance plus floating, either profits or losses. What is the difference between balance and equity? The difference is the opening positions you have. It's possible to have a very large balance but very small equity. This happens when you open positions and you have big unrealized floating losses. Pay attention to this part. Balance is not important when you are having open positions. The reason is very simple. Many fake traders that try to scam people don't show their open trades. The account seems healthy. However, there are several bad trades open, and when the time comes, the account will be destroyed. What is free margin? We need to go back to the definition of margin. We have two types, used and free. Used margin is already known and we analyzed it in this episode. Now, free margin is the difference between equity and used margin. Free margin refers to the equity in a trader's account that is able to use. Free margin is also known as usable margin because it is margin that you can use. Pay attention to the trap. The usable margin won't be constant. It will change as long as you have open position. This might mislead you while you have open winning positions. So pay attention to this detail. You might think you have the available margin to enter a new trade, but you didn't calculate your open positions. This might be catastrophic for your account. Free margin is also known as usable margin, usable maintenance margin, available margin, and available to trade. Now, how to calculate free margin? We will use our trades in this example. Free margin equals equity minus used margin. If you have open positions and they are currently profitable, your equity will increase, which means that you will have more free margin as well. Remember the trap we analyzed before. Floating profits increase equity, which increases free margin. And the opposite, floating losses decrease equity, which decreases free margin. Every time you need to calculate all these details. This is the reason you need to be extremely accurate in your calculations. This part might be tricky in the beginning to get used to, as the account balance will change. However, it is part of the trading game. In this series, we will do several examples, and also you can see them in action while we are trading our real accounts. Another important piece of information is the margin level. For this series and for you to be able to practice, you should already have a demo account. Practice will help you to understand the information you see here. What does margin level mean? The margin level is the percentage value based on the amount of equity versus the used margin. The margin level allows you to know how much of your funds are available for new trades. The higher the margin level, the more free margin you have available to trade, and the opposite, the lower, the less free margin available. Now, how to calculate margin level? This will be shown automatically in any platform that you will choose to trade. So you need just to understand what the margin level represents. The formula is really simple. Margin level equals equity divided used margin multiplied by 100 as it is a percentage. As we said, your trading platform will automatically calculate and display your margin level, so you don't have to do anything. If you don't have any trades open, your margin level will be zero. The margin level is very important because it indicates how healthy your account is. Brokers use it to determine whether you can open additional position. Most brokers set the margin level at 100%. However, this is not the same for all brokers. When equity is equal or less than your use margin, you will not be able to open any new positions. If you want to open new positions, you have to close existing ones. A call you don't want to receive, trust me. In Forex trading, the margin call level is when the margin level has reached a specific level or threshold. When this threshold is reached, you are in danger. Some of your positions will be closed to free some margin. Some Forex brokers have a margin call level at 100%. A margin call is when your broker notifies you that your margin level has fallen below the requirement minimum level, the margin call level. This notification used to be an actual phone call, but nowadays it might be an email or a text message. In the MT4 platform, you will see it with red as it approaches to liquefy your positions. Regardless of how you are actually notified, the feeling isn't the best. The option is add more money to your account. This might signify poor money management, and you most likely will see it when start trading. A margin call occurs when your floating losses are greater than your used margin. This means that your equity is less than your used margin. Margin call level versus margin call. There is a confusion between margin call level and margin call. A margin call level is a threshold set by your broker. This will trigger a margin call. The margin call is the event that will occur once you reach this threshold. A margin call level is just a threshold, and the margin call is the event that will occur. The stop out. The stop out level is similar to the margin call level but worse. In Forex trading, a stop out level is when your margin level falls to a specific percentage level. In this case, one or more positions will be liquefied. This liquidation happens because your account can no longer support the open positions due to lack of margin. When the equity is lower than a specific percentage of your used margin. In this level, your broker will automatically start closing out your positions, starting with the most unprofitable ones until your margin level is back above the stop out level. If your margin level is at or below the stop out level, the broker would close any or all of your open positions as quickly as possible in order to protect you from possibly incurring further losses. This act of closing your position is called a stop out. The process is automated, so in other words, you cannot prevent it. You are just bad in trading, and the customer support won't be able to help you. A sorry might be the only comfort you might receive. The stop out level is also known as margin closeout value, liquidation margin, or minimum required margin. Each position that is closed releases used margin, which increases your margin level. But if closing this position is still not enough to get back the margin level above the threshold, your broker will continue to close positions until it does. The stop out level is meant to prevent you from losing more money than you have deposited. But in any case, it also means you miscalculate it. This is another reason we are pushing our viewers to start strictly with demo accounts. In order to avoid these unpleasant situations and prevent the broker from start closing our positions, you better think twice before entering a trade. Risk the same amounts and always calculate the risk. The losses is part of the game. We will discuss in depth how to handle them. And remember what we said, live to fight another day. Margin and leverage. You actually use margin to create leverage. Also, you can find in the comments below another video for the leverage. Leverage is the increased trading power that is available when using a margin account, a purchased power you get. This has a double effect, huge profits but also huge losses. Leverage allows you to trade positions larger than the amount of money in your trading account. Leverage is expressed as a ratio. Leverage is the ratio between the amount of money you really have and the amount of money you can trade. Each broker provides different leverage levels. The leverage provided might be 10 to 1, 20 to 1, 30 to 1, 50 to 1, and sometimes much bigger. A 100 to 1 leverage means the margin requirement is 1%. So let's give an example. Let's say to buy 100,000 USD, you will need 1,000 USD in your account. It might sound good, but remember the double effect we said before. It doesn't come for free and might be lethal. Huge profits equals huge losses in trading. Leverage and margin refer to the same concept, just from a slightly different angle. When a trader opens a position, they are required to put up a fraction of that position's value. In this case, the trader is said to be leveraged. We will see leverage in action and how it works, so don't worry. Margin call is your worst enemy, but that's why we are here, to help you avoid it. Trading on margin is a way for traders with limited capital to make significant profits. But remember what we said, profits equals losses. If you fail to understand the concept of margin or not knowing what to do when faced with a margin call from your broker, you will definitely experience the shock of your trading account blowing up. Know what the margin requirements are, even before you place any order. Understanding what a margin call is and the potential risk can offer you a huge advantage. Know your enemy. Practice a lot. Open a lot of positions in demo accounts and get familiar with the position sizes and how to place order based on your account size. Knowing the margin requirements before you open a trade is crucial. The concept of margin call isn't though about much by most new traders. Pay attention to pending orders. When you are new trading, this might be a huge problem. Pending orders are not so obvious. Multiple pending orders might trigger, and this will be catastrophic for your account. Stop loss, your holy grail in trading, bread and butter. First, calculate how much you are willing to lose, then the remaining margin after the loss. This will help you to strategize your next move. Trail stop and break even are something that we will discuss, as they are a huge chapter in trading. Don't use all your margin at once in your positions. Average your positions accordingly. I know the market is unpredictable. However, you will be able to apply some of the rules we are teaching here to help you progress and advance in trading. As we said, market is unpredictable. Your setup to enter a trade might take a week to happen, or it might happen on several markets at once. Panic won't help you. Evaluate the situation correctly and enter the one you are most confident. Don't over-risk, don't over-trade, entering multiple trades, as this will affect and those that might be profitable. Go back, repeat the chapters you are not sure, and again, thank you. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching our videos. I hope you enjoy. You know that we need your subscriptions, likes, and comments for the YouTube algorithm. Help us to make more content and trade safe.